everyone. Today we're going to discuss neuroethics. As you all know, neuroscience is a relatively new field that raises a lot of unique ethical questions about how research will be conducted and how the field will be developed. So with this in mind, the Obama administration developed a presidential committee on neuroethics called Gray Matters to focus on the main ethical issues at hand in this field. Does anyone have any ideas on what type of issues might have been discussed? There are three main ones that the committee focused on.
Maybe neuroscience and the law, or maybe a lawyer wants to use brain scanning to move someone's insanity or inability to empathize.
Yeah, law is a part of neuroethics that the commission focused on. It isn't something that we'll be going into depth with, mainly because there's not too much research yet on how neuroscience can be applied to the law. The commission predominantly looked at the future implications of using neuroscience in a legal case. The idea behind this is to see if neuroscience can prove someone's innocence or prove why they acted a certain way. But that's about where the commission stopped with their research. Are there any other ideas for what they may have focused on? Yes?
Is it something to do with research ethics?
Yeah, in a way. The second issue deals with consent and capacity of participants in neuroscience research. As we all know, diseases of the brain can significantly impair decision-making and cognitive abilities, but to study these diseases, we need participants who are afflicted by these specific diseases. The issue arises when the disease being studied affects the ability to give informed consent. So how do researchers study these disorders if their targeted participants have diminished capacity? Can anyone think of how this would relate to bioethics? Yes?
It'd probably relate in that using them would undermine their autonomy because they wouldn't get the full informed consent.
Exactly, that's the issue. But work is being done to see at what point neuroscience research is okay to be conducted. Basically, they are looking to see if research being done is detrimental to these participants or if it will be of service to them in the future because of work being done on the specific disorder. Can anyone think of the last issue? Yes?
The use of drugs like Adderall that would enhance your mental performance?
Right. Cognitive enhancement is a huge concern to the commission and is the issue we'll be focusing on the most. Does anyone have any ideas about what ethical issues come up with cognitive enhancement drugs? Yeah.
People would get an unfair advantage in school.
Well, we really don't know what the side effects of these drugs are in the long term, and clinical trials aren't that good at discovering them.
Yeah.
We talked about this in class with performance-enhancing drugs. We talked about where it draws the line between therapy and enhancement, and that it could be easily applied to cognitive enhancement drugs.
Yeah, those are all great points. I think less obvious ethical issues arise from the societal implications because these drugs could drive a further divide between income brackets if the access is unequal, causing further disadvantages if the rich get smarter and more productive. Use of this drug would drastically change the productivity capabilities of society, which could be good, but there's no way of knowing how it's going to affect everybody on the whole. In a slightly different direction, today we'll be looking at an interview a CNN health correspondent held with a pharmaceutical company executive. The interview is meant to highlight several aspects of the ongoing debate about cognitive enhancing drugs with a drug that has just been in development is going to be released soon.
Good evening, Ms. Fender. As I understand, your company is developing a new drug called neurocycline. Could you tell us a little bit about the drug?
Yeah, absolutely. Neurocycline is an innovative technology developed in order to enhance cognitive clarity and productivity, as well as minimizing the need for sleep. Our goal with this new therapy is to allow users to increase their personal productivity in the office, the home, or on the job. Our ideal user is someone who has a job that requires great mental focus and has minimal time for sleep. This job could be a high-risk job like the military or something that requires great precision like a surgeon or a third shift worker who needs a pick-me-up. Everyone can benefit from the optimal functioning brought about by neurocycline.
Excellent. How long has the development for neurocycline taken? Do you think it's enough time to assess the potential risks for the drug?
Interesting. Well, development began in 2002 when research surrounding the cognitive enhancement drugs was first beginning. We really do feel confident that the potential benefits for this drug outweigh the possibility of mild side effects.
Excellent. What about the long-term side effects? With this drug come to the public, it only started in 2002, correct?
Yes.
When this drug comes to the public, how have you been able to assess the long-term effects?
We have no data at this time to suggest that there are any concerns in the long term that aren't presenting in the short term. And again, we strongly believe that the increased mental productivity brought about by neurocycline will outweigh the potential consequences of its use.
Excellent. Has the cost of research and development been hampering on business? And have you been having to relocate funds that you could be using somewhere else to treat, say, Alzheimer's?
Yes, our company has made the decision to look towards the future and focus on developing these new therapies which hold great promise. You are correct, we did focus on Alzheimer's for many years, but this research has been incredibly productive and we have not gotten great returns on our investments with the Alzheimer's research. So we have made the decision to shift our focus for the time being.
So it would be fair to say that your goal is to move people beyond their baseline function rather than focus on people who have fallen behind their baseline due to neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's?
I don't think that's fair to say necessarily because we are not responsible for neglect as that statement may insinuate. With the development of neurocycline, we are simply looking towards the future in order to help supply society with the means to improve the world we live in.
What will be the procedure to obtain this drug and how would you allow equal access?
Yeah, sure. Neurocycline will be over-the-counter drug available for, we think, $100 for a month's supply of the drug. And having this drug available over the counter ensures equal access and does not discriminate based on the intended use by the consumer.
People would say that a price of $100 does not ensure equal access. Do you honestly think that this won't further the income gap, making the people at the top even more productive and advantaged than the people at the bottom?
This is a topic that has been discussed and in constant debate and will continue to be that way by our company and our researchers.
So what do you guys think of the comments made by the drug company? Yeah.
Well, I think they touched on a lot of the ethical issues, but I think there's so many more that they also haven't thought of yet. Like, how are we supposed to predict the negative effects of this drug societally, physiologically, mentally, and economically per se, if it hasn't even been released yet? I mean, there's a lot for the company and society in general to think about before this drug becomes commonplace, changing the dynamics of society and the workplace for good.
That's a great point. That's it for today.